True Blue Tie here from Thailand. Hope you're doing well. Just listening to LB here. I haven't heard his tweet yet, etc. For instance, his stream. But it doesn't sound happy, does he? Well, it appears that Kovacic, what's it called? Sorry if you don't know me, True Blue Tie from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It's one Parahasabodi here in Thailand. Bit of a cloudy one. Oh, it's gone cloudy now, wasn't it? Oh, thank you very much, Cop and Cab. I've just been for a run, a swim, and a bit of yoga and a bit of meditation on the beach. And it was lovely and sunny. We started off cloudy, and I thought, okay, because it rained last night. And I thought, great, okay. And then, for instance, and then as soon as I went out, the sun came out, boom, bearing on my face. And then suddenly I got back, etc. Now it's cloudy again. It's like carbon cap. The sun loves me. Anyway, so anyway, guys. So I'm just trying to catch up on the last night's news. And what's it called? Then LB has done a stream about Manchester City, for instance, and Kovacic. It appears that Manchester City's Kovacic has had a offer from the Saudi Pro League. And so for instance, was it trans? Yeah, so he's had an offer from the Saudi Pro League, but he's Manchester City wanting to keep him. So so he's thinking, what the flipping heck? Because we do need to get rid of one more player. I've just listened to the Manchester TV News as well, for instance, and they will go and talk about the squad's huge. But you know, if we went down to it. For instance, McAtee will probably go. Jack is probably on. We got some information about him going to Everton, and for instance, you got Victor is finally on a plane to Girona. And what's it called? Then Echeverria is still not sure about what he's going to do. But for instance, Ortega is probably about the only one with a question mark on where he's going to go. But again, for instance, is somebody going to come in for Edison? The Saudis going to come for or Turkey going to come from Edison? Don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But at the moment, etc. And also, so we've got one too many players, for instance, in the midfield. We worked out with JCG and typical City Johnny, for instance, and they both said Kovacic. Oh, sorry, no, both said no. Didn't both said? They both said İlkay Gundogan to leave, and because they expected to get an offer from Turkey, Galatasaray. So, but still hasn't happened. Galatasaray, I swear to God, honestly, all you do is mouth, and you're a journalist, etc. All you do is talk. But when it comes down to showing the money, for instance, you're not very good at it. So, for instance, again, there was rumours of Nico Inaki, there's Edison, for instance, İlkay Gundogan, and not one been asked, for instance, over the line, etc. for these players. Anyway, so it appears that, for instance, we both kind of like said, probably keep Kovacic and get rid of İlkay, and because we need one more player, for instance, non-homegrown players, and that's it. So, but it appears that there was, for instance, now there has been an offer or from the Saudi Pro League has approached Kovacic, but it appears that Manchester City are focused on keeping Kovacic at City. But again, for instance, as LB says, when's he going to play? Where's he going to play? For instance, and I think it's quite pointless. So I really don't understand. So he's keeper Kovacic is not about Kovacic. It's not really about saying whether you're a fan. I'm sitting here saying he's crap. I think he's actually a good player, but he's a decent player. But where's he going to play? When's he going to play? For instance, so the whole thing is a bit strange, really is. Anyway, so I totally agree there. For instance, and it'll be, but I listened to his stream a little bit earlier. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the transfers. So, could say Jack Grealish was mentioned yesterday. For instance, on transfers. So, but let's have a look. Let's start with Jason Simpson-Puzzi. He signed for Celtic. so he's gone for a season-long loan. Victor Reiss, we saw him on a plane off to Girona, so he's completed his medical and was signed for Girona, so that's 2 down. As they look as to target Claudio Echeverri, the next is either Rome or Girona, so I'm not too sure about that one. Everton made an approach to Man City. So before we heard that Everton are interested in Man City as well as Spurs, but it appears that now Everton has made an approach. I'd rather him to go to Everton rather than going to Spurs. Don't like Spurs, hate Spurs, and leave is a son of a bitch. And I'm hoping he goes to Everton, and I think he'll do good there. And also, for instance, he can stay out because he wants to stay in where he's living at the moment, for instance, in Old the Edge. So, for instance, a nice part of the world, and so I believe he wants to stay there. So, but I'll be happy to see Jack going out there. He got a massive cheer, by the way. What's it called on the by the City at the the open training session. Very well attended, and also a lot of people watched it as well. A lot of people still chatting about it, and for instance, in the players and. So it looks like he was very popular as well, Jack, and by the fans and who wanted his autograph. Got one of the loudest cheers. So it's a shame. It's a shame. But if he's not going to get a game time, I'd rather see him go at Everton, etc. And hopefully, so what you see if he can regain his form back there. Looks like I expected a golden loan, but they can't afford him. And also, I expect Man City to be paying for his salary as money in as well. Napoli also keen, with Manchester City now potentially making a move for Timo Livramento. Seriously, I think we might just stick our toe in the water, but Newcastle have got to be smart because of what's happened with the moment, etc. And the last thing they do was lose another player. So I doubt he's coming. I really do. But I still think we should go for the Spurs guy. But we're saying that we've got to deal with Levy. There you go. But let's see what happened with Jack. So, for instance, I got best up. I did see in the for instance, a bit of a push and shove between Haaland and what's his name, Jerky, for instance, in the training as well. I just seen someone actually highlighted it. It was, and it was just, they were pushing and shoving each other. So I'm sure it's something or nothing, but my God, there's certainly a bit of argy-bargy going on there, for instance. But so strange. I was really quite shocked to see that, actually. But I'm sure it's nothing. I hope it's nothing. Phil Foden appears that, for instance, he's got a smile on his face. I'm not sure whether the manager sees me this year. I can play different positions, but we all know my position is in the inside, the pockets. So let's see what's happening. I'm not here to replicate what Kevin De Bruyne did, but because we all know how good he is and what he can when he did. So for instance, but I don't think he again, for instance, I think Phil Foden is a fantastic player, for instance, and hopefully he can get back to his. He did step up, etc. when Kevin was injured to win the PFA Player of the Year, and so he has the qualities. But for instance, he's not a Kevin De Bruyne, but I just nice to see him with a smile on his face. Nice to see him popping around again. Nice to see him get his mojo back. So hopefully, for instance, he's got that fantastic goal with Turkey in the Club World Cup. So it's great to see Foden if we can get him back as well, back smiling. And for instance, he also I had a chat with the MEN, etc. Just been listening to them. He said he said I feel really, really good. Him and John Stones. Against John Stones, best defender, but I'll put a question mark on that one. People say he's the best defender, but to me, Djokovic is the best defender. But there you go. And Dias on his day. So, but also I'm looking at, for instance, Dias and Djokovic, and so for instance, but it's great. But if John can stay fit, I hope he does. Then and I hope he's got rid of his mystery illness. So for instance, and hopefully, for instance, we can start afresh. But we'll see what happens. I do think the squad is coming together. So a lot, and I'm very positive about the squad. A lot of people, were pretty negative about the squad, etc. Then we bought a few players in January, and then, for instance, and then we got these guys in for just before the transfer window, and all the City fans were buzzing and yay, and of course we got off to the Club World Cup, and for instance, and of course Liverpool started showing their mettle, and Arsenal, and there's been a lot of Man City, oh my God, we need. So, but again, I'm not so sure. I really ain't. And everybody's saying, "Oh, Man City's not going to win the league." Apart from one guy on ESPN, he said Man City's going to win the league. But apart from that, he was the only one guy saying Man City's going to win the league. I can't remember his name. Does a podcast on what's it called, ESPN. But he's and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, sure." But a lot of people say Man City could be second or third. And I'm not so sure. I do believe, for instance, if we start off well, we do, we have, for instance, again, for instance, as long as we avoid the injuries, don't get any crappy injuries like we did to keep players last season. I do think, for instance, we've got a good chance this season. I really do. And if you look at the likes of Arsenal yesterday, home to the Emirates against Villarreal, not the greatest team, Villarreal, and lost 3-2, and with 3-1 down at one time. And the Arsenal fans' TV outside having a big fight. It's lovely to see, and nothing's changed. And again, and Djokovic didn't score, and even though we had a good few chances, I thought Arsenal had good chances, etc., but they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And where have you seen this before? So for instance, so Arsenal don't seem to have changed very much, and then you've got the likes of Liverpool. Now Liverpool, they've got good players, very good cover, but they're also getting players. They're replacing the players which they needed to replace. Now you got the likes of, for instance, again, for instance, Nunes looks like he's going to Saudi, and then you've got Dias has gone off to Munchen and scoring, and then you've got Jota, unfortunately. But other than that, for instance, Liverpool are bringing in players, etc., the way they need, and to replace the ones which have gone. They've lost Trent, Arsenal, gone off to Madrid, and with Judith, another Judith, Bellingham, both overrated as far as I'm concerned. So, but they're yes, they're bringing good players. Not Djokovic, for instance, Frimpong, I'm not so sure, but I don't think Liverpool are as good as what people think. Again, so for instance, and they weren't great last season. The other teams we just handed it on the plate. Arsenal did what Arsenal do. Man City had injuries galore, and injuries to the key players. Players didn't. Diaz, Foden, Kevin De Bruyne had his injury, for instance, which he couldn't shake. His groin injury, plus so Liverpool really kind of got through the reins. So are Liverpool a very good football team? Do they look good on paper? And they've still got, and Salah had an amazing year. Will he have an amazing year this year? So, again, Salah doesn't do it 2 or 3 games in a season in a row. He has a good year, and then he has a drop-off. So, but, we'll see. I'm sure he'll score goals, but I'm sure Liverpool will there. But to sit there and say it's a given, I'm not so sure. It really ain't. Let's have a move on. It appears that there was the media now are moaning about the cost of this 115 rather than anything else. What does that tell you? It's like everybody's talking about how the fact Man City are going to get guilty, we're going to get for instance, taken down, we're going to lose all our trophies, we're going to get relegated, and now there's the media has been talking about the price of it and how Manchester City have caused it because it's costing too much money. And it costs what it costs, mate. And and it's costing 200 million. And that's terrible. It's shocking. Okay, but I just get the impression, and the media, I really do feel that, for instance, the what's it called, the 115 is not going to end up with the way they want it to end up. So I just really do feel every day I listen to this and I kind of smile a bit and thinking, I think we've got this, but again, well, let's just wait. Okay, so we did play the Chorley game. I saw it on FCMC Lads, and he went, but it was the under-21s, and was expecting some senior choir, but I don't know who played because he never gave it the team. He never saw the team. City won 2-1 against Chorley, but so they did game, and the time changed. So, but I don't think it was. I think it was the under-21s or the youth team I played against Chorley, but they came from 1-0 down to win 2-1. So, but so the game did against Chorley, so we did win. So congratulations to our youth team squad, but to the Dias squad. But so I was going stir crazy. I was thinking, where's this game? Anyway, it appears that, for instance, they were off to Palermo, and it appears that we're going out the day before as well. They're going to have the press conference prior to that. So, for instance, like a normal Champions League game. With Pep in front of the media, and then they're taking a squad out, about the sounds of it, a big squad out. They're taking for instance, they're having a training. They're going out the day before, for instance, having a press conference, having a training session out there, and then, for instance, playing the game, and then coming back on the Sunday. So, for instance, it's like a normal Champions League. They would say a Champions League game. So, for instance, so City are taking it damn seriously, and I think they are. I think the squad seems to be, and I think, for instance, we're the wounded animal, and I do think, for instance, the squad is really, wants to itch it to get back, because again they got treated like garbage, and they got taught like in by players. We had one season, for instance, where we dropped off, and everybody just had a go at Man City, and I think Man City players, and I think with Bernardo as our captain now, I think a lot of players want to put a right to a wrong. And so that's the reason why I don't think Liverpool's going to have its way. Arsenal will be Arsenal. Chelsea, probably I've got more worry about Chelsea, but they're a bit, it come ça, what's it called with Chelsea, but I think Chelsea in a few seasons, etc., will be a very good squad. But at the moment, etc. So I do think, for instance, Manchester City, for instance, are going to play well. I'm confident in the season. I'm getting more confident by the season, and I think there's a great determination. So why not? Why not? So, but apart from that, again, so I'm going to listen to LB now and find out, for instance, if he's calmed down a little bit, which is understandable about Kovacic. We got a chance to get rid of Kovacic, even though I love the player and he had a great season last season. Where's he going to play? And also, we need to get rid of an homegrown. So anyway, but I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to get back on and crack on with a few things. I hope you're doing well. For instance, again, what's it called? Nice. The weather stopped for about 5 minutes in the UK. So the bad weather. So, but storm, another storm. So we had a bit of a rainstorm yesterday. Lasted about 20 minutes, half an hour. Created a bit of a flood in the centre of a patio. It sounds of it. And but it's now disappeared, and we got 30 degrees again, 35 degrees, and yeah, lovely. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you. True Blue Tie from Thailand. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking, what's on your minds, and because I always like to listen to what people are thinking. And yeah, so guys, take care. I'll speak to you tomorrow.